Um, it's been quite a while since I've made that last video. It's been a while since I've last posted anything, but I was just busy going through matric finals and getting ready for December. Basically, it's December now. It's the 16th of December. Day of reconciliation, and this video I'm just making so that not really so that I'm really useful, but rather that 10 years from now I can reminisce on what I was experiencing at the time. So yeah, so it's been a minute. There was a lot of success that I felt in the past while. Just got through matric finals, obviously. Feeling very happy that I got through matric finals. Feeling very happy with some of the work that I put in. I know for a lot of people it was a very difficult time, and I can see why, because it was quite stressful, and it was quite interesting because it was the last time that you were able to write anything, and sort of 12 years of education has led up to this point, and yeah, so there was a lot of pressure on it, but I think for me, I felt very happy with what I put in, and we just gotta hope that the results are good. Yeah, and so UCT also contacted me, or not contacted me, but like they sent out a message like to all the prospective students, and they said, okay, look, remember that these are the dates. This is on, like, in February sometime you need to be in for orientation, and then you start lectures like about a week later or so. And so, like I say, a lot of success, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and that was great until about, I think, about 2 days ago now. Yeah. So obviously I I don't see myself as a straight A student, but I at least maintained the 80 average across the last 3 years of high school. So like grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, I maintained a 80 average, and I was really happy with that 80 average. And I got involved in a lot of cultural things, a lot of plays, a lot of committees, a lot of leadership positions, and this was sort of all so that it would help my university applications, to help my bursary applications, and yeah, so I applied, and things really seemed like they were going well. Like the stars really seemed like they were aligning, and then 2 days ago, I got an email saying that my application was unsuccessful. Yeah, I got rejected. And it was quite an interesting thing, because when I read it, and I think by the very nature of me applying for a bursary, you would know that I basically need the funds to help my university fees. It's sort of what needs to happen. And whenever I talk about sort of money, and talk about having to need money, I get a very strange feeling. I get very cold, and I get like pins and needles, and sort of start shaking a little bit. And when I got that email, I I got that same feeling again. I got cold, and I started to sort of get like narrowing vision, and sort of you know yeah, just sort of didn't feel great. Really didn't feel great. And so yeah, so the first thing I wanted to do was try and look for my parents and say, okay, look, this is the key, because I feel like talking about things help a lot. And so that, I think that's, if you're going to take any lessons out of this things, one of the lessons will be that you need to talk about what you're going through. You need to talk about what you are experiencing, because it's just helpful. And so anyway, so I was looking for my parents, and they were asleep at the time. And so I thought, okay, look, I'll tell them in the morning. And so while I was, one of the other things that I sort of did was I just sort of prayed about it, and I was like thinking, okay, how am I going to move forward from here? And I'm one of those people who's fortunate enough to know sort of what they want to do, but not really what they want to do, but more like I know where I want to end up. So you can sort of think of it as right now I'm at point A and I want to get to point C. And I know that I'm going to get to point C. Somehow, somewhere, I'm not going to get to point Z. I just don't know how. So it's more like, okay, I know where I want to end up when I'm 50 something or so. It's just about the next step to take. And so the steps that I need to take now seem a little bit blurry, but I know where I want to end up. And so that's something that, I prayed about it, and I'm Christian, so the Lord Jesus reminded me that I'm going to end up where I need to end up. It was sort of like a sovereignty thing where it was part of the plan, it was predetermined, and this needed to happen. And I know where I need to end up. And so I thought, okay, I can at least have faith in that. Oh, I just don't know where that came from. But I can have faith in the fact that I know where I'm going to end up. And I know that, speaking metaphorically, whether I need to take the taxi, the bus, the car, the bicycle, even if I need to crawl to where I need to be, I will get there somehow, some way. And yeah, so I know that. And that was sort of comforting for me, that the fact that, I didn't need to go through this way or this particular bursary scheme, I won't mention the name, but I can still end up where I need to end up. And the other thing that I was sort of thinking of, when I thought of that, it was almost like looking at the people who sort of said, no, your application was unsuccessful, will not be able to cover you. I didn't feel angry, but I felt the sense of, I'll show you. That's what I felt like. I think that's what you can say. It's more, not really angry, it's more like, I'll show you. I'll show you that I don't need you to be successful. I'll show you that I don't need you to get where I need to be. And so I felt very empowered by that. I don't know why. And, there are a few other things that I sort of need to tell you, is that at least before I started all this journey, I got to sit down and ask the Lord, okay, look, where do I want to end up? Where do you want me to go eventually? And we did this whole sort of planning thing, and he told me that you have different sorts of plans. You have plan A, you have plan B, you have plan C, plan D, all these things. But somewhere or another, you're going to end up where you need to end up. And so, yeah. And so what I need to say is that it's always good to have a backup plan. Now, for me, the backup plans weren't as strong, but they work. And so, I'm going to get where I need to be regardless. And so the other thing that I sort of need to talk about is when I really felt like I don't even know what to call it, but it was just a very uncomfortable feeling while waiting for the moment to tell my parents, to tell the family that, okay, look, this is the situation and this is how we're going to proceed. It was a very uncomfortable feeling. It's a sense of uncertainty and a sense of there isn't safety or there isn't comfort in where I am. A sense of almost as though the ground could fall apart at any moment and swallow me whole. That's sort of what it felt like, and obviously it's not a great feeling. But the Lord said to me that, this is what it's meant to feel like. Because this feeling, I should get used to this feeling and to learn to act despite how I feel. And that's also something that I've sort of seen for most of my life, where there were moments where I didn't feel like, maybe there was a time when I had to help with the school's open day, with my high school's open day. And obviously it's a very tiring sort of thing where, you sort of just come in, you just finish showing one particular family around the school, and then you have to take the next one and the next one and the next one for probably about 3 hours or so, 3 or 4 hours or so. And it was very tiring, and was very, sort of not everybody is engaging that well. And, just, you're told to still be friendly, you're told to still be kind and generous, and that's very true. But you don't always feel like that. And what I learned is that it's going to be applied in the same way, where despite what you feel, you should still act in the right way. and your feelings and your actions don't have to be aligned. They can actually be opposing each other, but you still can act in a way that's positive, act in a way that's honorable, act in a way that's in a way that you want to act, despite feeling like you want to go the other way. And it's quite an interesting way to build character, where you can, pardon me, where you act in a way that that is contrary to the way you feel. Pardon me, just had a lot of water. But yeah, so the feeling of this is an uncomfortable feeling. You should get used to it though, because you need to act in many different ways where the future seems uncertain, but you need to act despite feeling uncertain. You need to act despite feeling unsafe. You need to make the right decision. You need to make the right call despite what you feel. And so that's sort of the lesson that I feel this has taught me. And yeah, I think last but not least is just the fact that, the saying goes, all roads lead to Rome. And the saying means that, no matter what you do, you're sort of going to end up in the same place. And yeah, I think I sort of mentioned that already. But it's also it's also something about, in the next 10 years, I feel like 2 days ago, that email that I got 2 days ago won't matter, because I'll have other things that I'm going to be, concerned about, other things I'm going to be worrying about. I mean, look, I'm 18 now. 10 years time, I'm going to be 28. I'm going to have wildly different priorities. I'm not going to sort of be bothered by what happened 10 years ago, because I'm going to be thinking about different things. I'm going to be in a different space completely. And I think that sort of brings into perspective what I'm feeling. And yeah, so I hope I hope that was helpful in some way, in my rambling. But if it wasn't, then, and you're still watching, then I'm glad you sort of watched. I'll probably do a lot more videos about sort of just where I am. And yeah, if you feel like, if you feel like you have been rejected, or maybe, maybe in January you get your matric results and you feel like the future just sort of closed up, what I would suggest you do is to pray. Pray that you end up where you want to end up. And the reason why I say pray is that, so that when you planning, because that's what I would suggest, you plan your next move, plan your next steps, and plan where you want to end up. And the reason why I say pray is because prayer will help you to know where you want to end up and where you should end up. And so yeah, so know where you want to end up, and then still commit to doing actions that take you there. Wherever you want to end up, wherever wherever you see your career going. And yeah, if it seems impossible, then just pivot a little bit, because whatever happens, that time will pass, this time will pass, and you're still going to be there's still going to be life when you're 25, when you're 35, when you're 45, when you're 55. There's still going to be joys and hopes and blessings in those times. Even though you're going to, 10 years time, you're going to be in a different space, there's still going to be blessings, there's still going to be hope, there's still going to be joys of all kinds. And yeah, I think I'm rambling a little bit, starting to waffle a little bit, but yeah, I hope you get the picture. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.